I'm Nolan Beavers. My role here is I'm staff physician. Been here 7 years. Married with 2 kids. Yeah, as you were talking about, we looked around a lot of different places when we graduated. When I finished residency, and a lot of the things you just touched on drew us here. It's procedurally oriented. We act as kind of the general surgeons for the town, just because it really isn't any local, but it's been that way for years and years. It's an older population, and a lot of people don't want to have to leave, and so we manage a lot of stuff. Practice-wise, it is most of us are procedurally orientated, and I think that's probably what drew most people here. But yeah, we've been here 7 years. It's gone by really fast. We are private practice here, and actually, surprisingly, looking back, I looked at 7 places, and all but 1 were private practice, and I didn't intentionally choose that. Most of them were smaller towns. Most of them were doing procedures of some sort, but just the feel of the community, the support of the community, those were kind of the main things that drew us here. It's very flexible. If you want to do clinic only, great. If you want to do, when I first came, procedurally wise, I wasn't quite as busy, so I would do some patients in the morning and then patients in the afternoon. We all take 1 day off a week. Now the procedures have gotten busy enough. Most of us just practice in the afternoon. We have clinic is open, but we don't schedule clinic patients in the morning. Just surgeries in the morning mostly. I have an OB I'm inducing this morning, but it's very flexible. If you don't want to do certain things, there's no push. If you do, there's a lot of opportunity. It's just a very flexible practice. It's kind of a work hard, play hard. I mean, we still work. There's some times that you're here a fair amount. Since I've been here, it's even better than when I first came. When I first came, we took our own call every night, and then you'd have your 1 day off. But family life, I mean, that was hard, and the guys had done that forever. So when I came, there was only 2 docs in town, and then we had several mid-levels, so I was the 3rd physician. And then when Dr. Gertzen came, it was 4, and he'd come 2 years later, and just, he and I sat down and decided it was crazy. And so we kind of pool call now. We each take 1 night a week, and then we take, basically it's a weekend a month. And then our practice ends up covering another community. We take call, it ends up being 4 times a year for weekend. And that's worked out real well. There is a certain amount in a rural area, there's going to be a certain amount of call. But I think it's the way it's worked out now, it's a pretty good balance. A lot of what we do, if I felt like we couldn't match what others, general surgeon in Salina was doing, it'd be pretty tough to continue to do it. But like I said, I think the skills of the docs here are pretty darn good. I just say, if you think you're interested in a community, come out, get a feel for it. Have the significant other come out and get a feel for it, because it's 2 people in a small town living, for good and bad. But yeah, I think as far as small town community medicine here, this is probably about as good as it gets. So.